Are some of the foods you're eating making you anxious? This is what I'm talking about today. Foods that trigger anxiety. I am Katina Blue. This is my channel where I give you conversation remedies about anxiety and OCD. If you're interested in subscribing to this channel, please click the subscribe button down below. And also, if you want to be notified of any time that I list a video, please ding the notification bell below this video so that each time I post a video, it will notify you to come and watch. For many years, I have suffered from anxiety and OCD, and I really didn't pay attention between the correlation between anxiety and the foods that I was eating. You want to pay attention to this video so that you can help yourself. Stay tuned. So comfort food is really good, right? Fried chicken, macaroni and cheese, we love it, don't we? However, if you are anxiety prone, you need to be careful about what you're putting in your body. And I'm going to be talking about 6 foods today that can trigger anxiety in you. Please take a listen because you might be eating any of these things and it could help you if you reduce them or completely eliminate them from your diet. So, starting out the list, a trigger for anxiety is caffeine. I talked about this in a previous video in my prevention and treatment videos. Caffeine can negatively affect your nervous system. And if you're already prone to anxiety attacks like I am, it could cause you to really have issues. I had a horrible anxiety attack triggered during my college days because I drank too much caffeine and also was taking caffeine pills. And it's not just high quantities of caffeine that can trigger anxiety. A study published in Neuropsychopharmacology showed that participants who had a genetic disposition to be affected by caffeine reported increased anxiety with as little as 1.5 cups of coffee. So you don't have to drink a lot if you already have a disposition towards caffeine. So this is why it is important to limit your caffeine intake and also to probably think about cutting caffeine off completely if you have anxiety problems. So sugar and refined carbohydrates are the next culprits that can trigger anxiety. So sugars like soda, dessert, any kind of candy and pastries and cookies and cakes, all that stuff that we love so much, well, it could be triggering your anxiety attacks. I'm going to tell you this. And the same goes for refined carbohydrates like white bread, pasta, white rice, and breakfast cereals. All of these things can cause your anxiety to go sky high. So you really need to pay attention to your consumption of sugar and refined carbohydrates to decrease your anxiety levels. So when you eat something that is high in sugar or refined carbohydrates, it causes your blood sugar to spike. So it goes up rapidly and then quickly falls, which can give you that feeling of being nervous, anxious, jittery. So you really have to pay attention to that. And also remember that sugar is in a lot of foods that you think that are good for you, like fruit juice. So much sugar in fruit juices, so please limit your consumption if you're prone to anxiety. Also, barbecue sauce, ketchup, salad dressings, yogurt, all of these things have sugar in them that we don't pay attention to. So you really need to be conscious of that when you're preparing your meals and also adding dressings and sauces. Unhealthy fats are another trigger that can cause your anxiety to spike. So saturated fats and trans fats are those unhealthy fats that you want to eliminate from your diet to make yourself overall healthier. So saturated fat comes primarily from meat and dairy. So many researchers believe that high consumptions of saturated fats causes inflammation in your body, which in turn affects your nervous system and your brain function, and all of that can affect your anxiety levels. So this is why they say to limit your consumption of meat and dairy products as a whole. Then you have trans fat. Trans fat comes in things like pastries, fried foods, baked goods. Trans fat was actually banned by the FDA in 2018. However, the FDA gave most food establishments and food manufacturers up until present day to actually start phasing out trans fat. So you could still find some products that have trans fat in them. Usually trans fat will be listed as partially hydrogenated vegetable oil on an ingredients list. So look for that and stay away. The next triggering food for anxiety is processed meats. So the meat that you buy for sandwiches in the grocery store, processed. All of that deli meat, processed. We talked about inflammation before, and processed meats can cause inflammation in your body. So that inflammation in turn can cause problems with your nervous system and brain function and end up causing anxiety levels to spike. Also, processed meat is very high in salt. Salt causes your blood pressure to go up, it makes your heart work harder, and in return, your body releases adrenaline into your system that will increase your anxiety levels. And we already talked about the fact that meat is high in saturated fat. So there is another reason why you would want to limit your intake of processed meats. The next tip a lot of you are not going to like, it's alcohol. So a lot of you out there are probably using alcohol as a sedative. You know, you don't feel great, you didn't have a good day, you feel anxious, you have a drink. Not such a good idea. Why is that? Well, initially you feel great, right? You're drinking and all of those neurotransmitters are releasing serotonin, which is causing you to have this feel-good feeling, but eventually that goes away because you have to come down from that high. And then those same feelings of anxiety are there, and actually studies have shown that they can become worse over time and also cause you to develop a dependency on alcohol. And if you have anxiety problems, that is the last thing you want, is to become dependent on alcohol to keep you well. And if you already have a disposition to anxiety like I do, alcohol can trigger you even worse. So you really have to pay attention to your alcohol consumption. And alcohol can also trigger blood sugar spikes, which can cause your blood sugar to go high very quickly. And we already talked about what that does to your body and how that can cause anxiety for you. Alcohol dependency is real. Please, if you are using alcohol as a crutch for your anxiety, you have to find a way to stop, because it is not good to depend on alcohol or any drug for that matter to help you with your anxiety. The last triggering food is artificial sweeteners. You think you're doing yourself such a great service by drinking sugar-free Pepsi. You're not. Research has shown artificial sweeteners to cause all kinds of problems, including increased levels of anxiety. So artificial sweeteners are known neurotoxins that can disrupt the normal functioning of the nervous system. I'm sure most of us have had some type of artificial sweetener at some point in our lives. I was drinking the artificial sweetener in Powerade. I was drinking sugar-free Powerade for a while, and I noticed that I wasn't feeling too great. And I realized after reading the ingredients, what I was drinking, it's just artificial sweetener. And that was when I started to do some more research and realized that that was not good for me. So if you're drinking diet sodas, things that are replacing sugar, Powerade, or any of those things that say sugar-free, please try to reduce your consumption or just completely eliminate them from your diet if you want to see your anxiety levels improve. So if you have any foods that trigger you or you notice that trigger your anxiety, please comment and leave them below so that you can help us understand other things that might be triggering us and triggering our anxiety. Please remember to like and subscribe, join this community, come over here, help us all get well together. I am so thankful to everyone who has joined the channel and all of you who are watching. Thank you for supporting. I appreciate it. And I will talk to you next time. Have a great day.